Lake and Santa Temple, Shanglong, Shijiao, Butterfly Spring. This is Dali.
我们现在看到的这一条街道呢，就是闻名中外的洋人街。来我们大理最不能不去的地方就是人民路了。
You know, the culture is alive.
I came to Dali after being here many times, and that's why I wanted to be here. It's like, wow, this is a great place. Why not?
Dali is still traditional. People live there, they work there. Children go to school, as we have seen. So we like it very much.
This is my home.
We still feel, though, very much in our hearts that our home, that our future growth should focus on the region, on the Dali region.
People come to Dali from all over the world, but what makes them want to gather together here? They are from different nations, but what things entice them to choose Dali as their home? Joy in China, traveling in Dali at ease, is on the air.
Experience the beauty of China with Joy in China. Hello everyone, I'm David. In Yunnan, there is a place which attracts tourists from home and abroad. They not only come here to travel, but also to experience the local life. Lots of people have come here and have fallen in love with this place. Many even choose to live here after they visit. They look after the trees, flowers, and grass together with the locals. This charming place is called Dali.
Dali, located in the midwestern part of the Yunnan Province, has an altitude of over 2,000 meters and sits aside Cangshan Mountain and Erhai Lake. This vast place has abundant resources, splendid mountains, rivers, and a gentle climate. Dali has a long history, and as the birthplace of the Yunnan Province's culture, it was one of the first developed areas in southwestern China. You can go to Dali directly by plane from Beijing, Shanghai, or Guangzhou. You can also fly to the capital city of the Yunnan Province, Kunming, and then take a train or bus to Dali. If you come here by bus, be prepared to travel for a long, long time, because it will take you around 4 hours from the airport.
你好吗？好。最近生意好吗？好。好。慢慢走，祝你一路平安，好不好？对他很好，他嘴过来，小心。This is called 西周 ，almost like 西周 pizza.
西周 pizza.
对，所以 this man is a famous 西周 pizza man. 对不对？你已经 how many years have you 你已经做了多久几年了
？16年了。
16年了。
This man who is saying hello to people in the street is named Lyndon, and he comes from America.
So I think in many ways what has happened as since 1984, during my almost 28 years of experience with China, is I realized that China has really given me an opportunity, a canvas, platform, upon which to really pursue a dream. In the States, we have this opportunity, and there have always been, and one of the greatest things in the States is given me the opportunity to dream and dream and aspire for something greater. But I found that the platform and being here in China has given me such an opportunity to share things.
In the 1980s, Lyndon came to China to study and work. He had also been a journalist for CBC who had interviewed people in China.
Because I was able to meet Deng Xiaoping, Zhao Ziyang, Hu Yaobang, all these people. I was at the Renmin Dahuitang, Diaoyu Tai, and I was the youngest person, journalist of the journalist group.
Lots of other opportunities came, but at last, Lyndon chose to stay here in Dali.
And the opportunity to come for me was like a dream.
Lyndon says that he will never forget his first impression of Dali.
I first came to Dali in 1985 as a backpacker. You know, Dali had just opened to tourism, and obviously it was much different.
It is just because Dali is very unique, so Lyndon is trying to fulfill his dream even now.
I wanted to set up a program, a place that would allow people to come to a more simple life, to a more rural life, to a village.
So why is Dali so attractive that Lyndon came to live and work here? What did he do in Dali to make his dream come true? Who else here is chasing their own dream just like Lyndon?
月亮升起来呀，海边静悄悄，气船，燕子声声响，弹起我心爱的跳沙响，西沙的姑娘呀，快来。
Erhai Lake, from its northernmost point in Jiangwei town of Eryuan to its southernmost point in Xiaguan of Dali, its length is 41.5 kilometers. It is also about 9 kilometers wide at its broadest point. It covers an area of about 251 square kilometers, making it the 7th largest freshwater lake in China. There are many famous scenic spots in Dali, like Dali Ancient Town, Cangshan Mountain, Santa Temple, and Shuanglong Ancient Town, which are all around Erhai Lake. Lots of tourists ride bikes around the 120-kilometer perimeter of the lake to enjoy all the beautiful scenery.
云南这边景色比较漂亮啊，然后主要还是去西藏，然后就是也是经过这边了。
那来大理这边多长时间了？
待了今天第3天了。
第3天。
对对对。
就住在哪边呢？
前2天住在古城，今天可能准备去那个双廊。我们之前本来都是基本搭帐篷的，但是考虑到可能过去丽江州去西藏，可能那个气温太低，我们就把那个帐篷已经昨天寄回去了。
寄回去了。
其实今天发现那个洱海边的景色特别漂亮，比较遗憾。
从曼谷骑过来的，我是台湾人。
那怎么想到来到大陆，又从曼谷又绕大一大圈到了云南这边？
临时起意吧。就想要骑车，然后就开始骑车这样。
感觉大陆这边的景色怎么样？这一路过来。
景色还蛮漂亮的。对，跟东南亚比起来，这边比较。感觉规模都比较大的感觉。
Shuanglong Ancient Town is located near the northeastern part of Erhai Lake. This town is surrounded by mountains on 3 sides. Because of its location, Shuanglong is admired as the first town with Tsang-Ar scenery, which is referring to Cangshan Mountain and Erhai Lake, in the leading scenic spot called Nanzhao Island. It is a place where you can get away from the hot days of summer. In Shuanglong, there is no need to rush to visit the scenery, so you can just sit on the bank of Erhai Lake tasting good tea and see the sunset with the clouds in the sky over Erhai.
有的时候我们也问说，大家来双廊，你们整天在客栈里面是做什么的？他们告诉我们说，在双廊实际上我们什么都不做，就是要把自己放空，让我们的身体等一等我们的灵魂。
Facing Shuanglong across the lake is a village called Xizhou. There is an animal in Xizhou which is considered as a treasure. It is an osprey from the Shachun village of Erhai Lake.
以前是70多户人家养着2000多只的鱼鹰，这些鱼鹰在日本拿的金牌比赛，95年、96年的95年了，95年在日本18个国家比赛，他拿了金牌。
In the ancient times, fishermen called the osprey in Erhai Lake the ghost bird, and the fishermen who were of the Bai ethnicity named it the water crow. But the scientific name is cormorant. Cormorants are distributed widely around the world. The cormorants that live in Erhai are the typical freshwater cormorants which can be found elsewhere in the world. In October of 1995, the cormorants of Erhai won the Golden Award in the World Inland Lakes competition of catching fish, which was held in Gifu City in Japan.
Oh, 我刚才听你对这个鱼鹰喊的有一些东西哈，你是在让他们去捕鱼吗？
这他的意思就是让他们加油加油的意思，去捕鱼。这鱼鹰是在洱海里能够待5-6分钟，在水里面待5-6分钟，
在水下。
在水下待5-6分钟，比人都在路上跑得快。
它能下到多少米深
？17、8米、20米。
哦，那么深。你刚才喊的那对鱼鹰的这个口令都有哪些呀？就是怎么让它去捕鱼的口令。
口令
都有几种？
有好几种。
你讲一讲。
这一种是第一种是
这是什么意思？
这一种就是去找鱼的意思。
第二种呢？
第二种吧，第二种是就是叫他的意思，叫他就跟上我。这意思就是加油加油的意思。
加油去捕鱼。
加油去捕鱼的意思。
那如果他捕不上来鱼，你会惩罚他吗？
他尽量去找吧。他尽量去找。
有没有抓不到鱼的？
有。
那怎么办？
少数。
抓不到鱼还会喂他们小鱼吃吗？
我不喂喂抓着鱼是不喂直到抓着鱼才喂它的嘛。吃饱了他就不干活。
Yan Yuegan said that he has a skill of fostering the ospreys which other people do not have.
有一个天分，就是能但是鱼能分得出哪个的名字叫哪样。
This is real talent. Yan Yueguan is 61 years old and he has been raising ospreys for 36 years. Now his 18 ospreys each have their own names.
最好的鱼鹰，一只名叫大神，第二一只就是叫小崔。这个是小崔。
1、2、3、4、5、6、7、8、9。
这个是最棒的
我的是相依为命的，然后8岁。
8岁了。
你们两个相依为命。
相依为命，我靠他跟我很多嘛。他打鱼打得厉害，捕鱼时候厉害，再吹个八。如果是大神不在的时候，他就朝前走了。大神是一天是捕，有一天是捕80公头不打鱼。这个小崔是一天最少打几条大鱼。
大神是谁？这个叫大神。
他几岁了？他几岁？
他是16岁。
哇！16岁啊！
他其实16岁啊，跟着我打鱼打了16岁啊。
Yan Yuegan said that over the past decades, relying on these ospreys, he has built his house, sent his children to school, and supported his parents.
这个鱼鹰它捕鱼能捕多少年
？27、8年。
27、8年。那也就是说它能活27、8岁吗
？27、8岁。
那从多大的时候开始捕鱼
？100天。
Now in Shizhou, Shatsun village, there are only 6 or 7 families that keep ospreys, and only about 100 ospreys remain here. The ecosystem is changing. In order to protect the environment, Erhai has a closed fishing period every half year, but there are still some young people carrying on this tradition.
How long have you been working with the osprey?
我今年26，有14年吧。
And do you enjoy your work?
喜欢，因为从小我就喜欢，所以我小学都没毕业，就开始出来放鱼鹰嘛。
The reason why ospreys are becoming fewer and fewer is that catching fish just can't earn that much money. At the same time, ospreys have a low rate of survival.
但是 一年可以交配2次。
How many eggs can they give birth at one time?
每一次8个到12个吧。但是它成熟的不一定有2-3只，也不一定一只都没有。
Can I touch the osprey? Is it going to bite me? 我能摸它吗？它会咬我吗？
不会，它不会咬你。
Oh, that is so cool. Can I hold it? Wow, this bird is really, really heavy.
The domesticated ospreys have some human tendencies. For fishermen, every osprey is an important member of their family. The sky connects the lake from afar and the water waves nearby. Fishermen get up early to work and have a rest late every day. Day by day, year after year, they feel satisfied with their lives and are grateful to ospreys in their minds. They love Erhai Lake, always and forever.
月亮升起来呀，海边静悄悄，风起起吹，燕子声声响，弹起我心爱的跳沙响，西沙的姑娘呀，快来。
With a long history of about 2,000 years, Guizhou Town is a famous ancient town with Bai ethnic culture and history. Since the ancient times, many Guizhou people have been good at doing business, and they were called the Guizhou Business Group. This town keeps the Bai ethnicity's traditional construction from the Ming and Qing dynasties. The Linden Center is one of them. It is the place where Linden works, and it is also his home in Dali.
I see so many pictures here.
These are all the pictures we've tried to collect. Some of the old photos of Yang Pingshan, the man who built this house, and many of these pictures. For example, this is Mr. Yang with his wife.
Yeah, his wife.
This is Mr. Yang as well.
He's handsome.
He was a very handsome man.
Yeah.
So he's very. I think our goal was to try to tell the story. It's hard to find the old photos. So often we will ask his relatives when they come to visit if they have any old photos that they can share, and we'd like to continue to record his history somehow and be able to share it with our guests. So it's quite special. And at that time, Mr. Yang, and you can tell by the size of this complex and how beautifully designed it was, that Mr. Yang was a very creative and intelligent man. So to design such a structure and such a beautiful home, he must have been a very special man.
The Linden Center was Yang Pinxiang's residence in which the businessman Yang Pinxiang's family lived many years ago. The Bai ethnicity's construction has the typical style with 3 alleys and a screen wall and 4 yards and 5 courtyards. On the inscribed board of the entrance screen, there are 4 characters, Qingbai Chuanjia, which means inheriting a clean life. This is also representative of the Bai people whose family name is Yang in Dali. According to the record in the history of the later Han Dynasty, a famous scholar in the East Han Dynasty named Yang Zhen, who was the prefecture chief in feudal China, rejected the bribe of a large amount of money and told the younger generations to be people with clean hands. So, Qingbai Chuanjia was becoming the model of educating descendants of the Yang people. And this also states their traditional merits. This residence was built in 1948 and has a history of about 60 years. It is still firm and solid. In 2001, it was listed as a culture relic at the national level. In the 1980s, the tourist industry was starting to develop. In order to host the foreign guests, the locals built a hotel near Huguo Road. Many foreigners came to Dali to live here. They employed the foreign chefs to make Western food. More and more foreigners come here not only for traveling, but also to live here because of its unique charm. They have opened many Western restaurants and bars. Now it has become a tradition, so the street naturally developed its name, Foreigners Street. Near the Foreigners Street, we can see many inns and hotels which are opened by foreigners everywhere. Roland, who is from France, married a Chinese girl, and when it comes to how he came to Dali, Roland says it was just like destiny.
I was on a tour around the world, actually. I was on a tour around the world, and arriving from Vietnam, I arrived in Kunming, and then, of course, Dali, Kunming, Lijiang is a bit for tourists, you know, is the sort of highway, and I had a crush for Dali. Yeah, definitely. The lake, the old town, the mountain, I had a crush for there. So, in fact, it was really lucky that I met a young Frenchman was having a bar here, and I said to him one day, it would be great if I could buy a house here for my retirement. I was thinking of my retirement, but I don't know how to do it. I don't speak any word of Chinese, and he said he could help me, because he knows about plumbing, electricity, and all this, and decoration. So the funny thing is that when I asked him for his name, he said d'accord, and I was very surprised. I said, but d'accord means all right in French, you know? It means I agree, yeah, all right. So then that was his name. His family name was I agree, all right, yes. So I thought that's a sign. That's a sign. So let's buy this house, and then I bought a second and another one. And Dali is my first home probably now.
Roland and his Chinese wife check every room every day to see which things need to be improved.
This year, yes, so when we first arrived, this was existing, but not with the decoration, of course, but this was existing, these two parts, and this was really very old.
Roland fancies his life in Dali very much.
Dali is still traditional, people live there, they work there, children go to school, as we have seen, so we like it very much, and if it could remain like this for some time more, we would enjoy it.
The life of people in Dali is so free that it attracts many foreigners to live here, such as Lyndon, Roland, and Tracy from America, and Max from England. Tracy and Max opened an inn together in Dali. When it comes to their experience, it is absolutely an amazing encounter.
I used to lead a few small tour groups in China and Southeast Asia, and Tracy was 13 and I was her leader, and we went into Vietnam.
6 years later.
Tracy moved over to help us do more tours, and we kept going in and out of Vietnam, and what was happening was there was lots of street kids at the time, and they just kept coming up, and we'd try and help them, and then we'd go away, and then we'd come back and nothing had changed, and that was when Tracy said, okay, maybe I can go and move into Vietnam and try and help them a bit more.
Later, an occasional chance brought them to Dali.
Oh gosh, it's pretty much everything. The people, number one. The local people are just really friendly. Even when you go into the villages are friendly, and they don't mind my bad Chinese. They try and help. So number one, the people, the climate, the scenery, the mountains, the lake, the villages. I mean, just everything. Put it all together, and I don't think you can find a better place.
Living in Dali and treating the inn as their home were their original hopes.
Whenever we used to travel around, we'd sit in a restaurant or we'd sit in a guest house, and it would be like, if I had one, I'd do it this way. And then, so all we've done here is make it what we wanted.
It's mostly private rooms. What we've tried to do is keep with hostel prices, so it's still affordable, but kind of a step up from your normal hostel. So it's mostly private rooms. We have a couple dorm rooms.
They do everything at the inn by themselves. Though they are busy, they feel so happy. During the 4 years this inn has been open, Tracy and Max think that they are Daliers.
I usually go back every year and a half, approximately, just for a few weeks to see family and friends.
Well, I was having to go back to the UK every year because my mother was getting older. But 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, I got her to move here. So she actually lives in one of the rooms.
Max's mother is 86 years old. She came here across half the world from England, and she enjoys her life here very much.
And where in England are you from?
Kent.
Kent.
Yes.
Okay.
60 miles from London, southeast from London, and Whitstable I lived. I don't live there now. It's not my home. This is my home.
Whether the Frenchman Roland who married a Chinese wife or Tracy and Max who met each other during traveling, they all chose to leave their home to live here because they love this land. But what Lyndon does is not as easy as just running an inn. This old man named Dong Chung Han is about 90 years old, and he has strong feelings for Xizhou. Before Lyndon started his career in the Lyndon Center, he came to visit Dong Chung Han.
董老他写的这本书，他记得很多那个以前的一些那个喜洲的一些。
这些是岩浆盖的，岩浆盖的这个建湖楼，解放以后已经把它拆了，它上有孔大洲，喜洲的门牌坊，我们牌坊有6座，全部炮毁完，也没有了，这个是石牌坊，石牌坊有14座，14座都一样没有嘛，对，因为是我这些东西在我印象上有这个东西，内容上嘛，我具体在什么位置，有什么牌坊，它是哪家的盖的，我就写得很清楚。
它好像是活的一种博物馆，它就是那个，所以我们很多的那些那个我们的客人，他们到喜洲，我们会把他们都带过来，然后他会介绍喜洲的历史。
This book has been collected by this old man. Its content is all of his memories of Xizhou town. The big banyan tree in the intersection of the village has a history of over 1,000 years. When Dong Chung Han was a little child, he read books and listened to the old people talking about stories of Xizhou. Now, though he is very old, he recorded all of the stories to show the later generations. But to his surprise, as a foreigner, Lyndon just calls on him to listen to his stories. And what Lyndon learned first from Mr. Dong is to protect Xizhou's history. Now the Lyndon Center keeps the original style of the residence of Yanpingxiang. The construction, the color of the bricks, and stair armrest have been restored according to its original look.
I still believe that it's more sustainable. And there are many, not just from a cultural point of view, but also from an environmental point of view. It is very much clear that when you use an existing building, you are doing much less environmental damage. It's much more challenging, but in the end, you have the old structure around you, and you have provided it with a spirit, and it has come alive again.
Like Lyndon said, it was really a challenge to restore the residence. For Lyndon, the Lyndon Center is his life's work. When someone even shows a little interest about this place, he will try his best to tell every detail of this old residence and its history. Now it has become a rule to introduce the residents of Yanpingxiang to guests at 5 o'clock p.m. every day.
China also is made up of small villages that in many ways have not changed over centuries. And it's in those villages that often we find that old culture that really makes China so different from any other country in the world. And that culture is what should really attract most of us.
Because of Lyndon's hard work, this old residence gives off its original flavor again, and there are more and more foreigners attracted here every year.